Hello and welcome to Backstage Buzz at the Mac, where you get the inside story and the art scene right from the directors and creators of the shows, along with events hosted at the Mac. I'm Diana Martinez, and on this episode, you'll be getting a behind-the-scenes look at all the great things going around at the Mac this December. First up, I welcome back Janie Oldfield, who will give us details about outreach programs that the MAC supports, as well as share tips about how you can give the gift of live theater to deserving families this season. Then, I'm very excited to welcome Second City cast member E.J. Cameron to the show. He'll talk about his experience with the legendary sketch and improv comedy troupe. And finally, Tony Venezia, professor of animation at the College of DuPage, will talk about the recent recognitions and great accomplishments made by Courier TV, the student-run news show which is part of our college's motion picture television program. So let's get to it. First up, I'm happy to welcome back Director of Development with the COD Foundation, Janie Oldfield. Thank you for visiting, Janie.
My pleasure. It's always fun to be here.
Well, we have a lot going on to talk about right now.
We do.
So where do you want to start? You want to start with some of our outreach programs that we have?
I think that sounds wonderful.
Okay.
And Savvy Young Glover just did a master class for our students. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Well, Savvy Young Glover is truly amazing. And the opportunity for students to get to meet him and work with him is one of the outreach things we do. We try to get these artists
you can't get that at every school, but you can get it here because of the MAC.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, our students got to meet Stephen Schwartz and get coached by him, who's, you know, did Pippin and Wicked and wrote all those great musicals. Another one we have is actually with Second City coming up.
Yeah.
And our acting students will get to work with him.
And that part is so exciting because that's an ongoing relationship, and those students really grow in that process. If they're with us for a year or two, they get multiple opportunities. It's really wonderful. Now, we have a fund that supports these programs.
Which is?
The Bellucci Artisan Residence Fund.
There you go.
And we do have generous donors who make sure that when artists are available to us, that we can connect them with students. And it's so important because why would we be at a college if we can't connect the students to the working artists who are nationally recognized?
Now, the foundation is also sponsoring a really great series for students. We're bringing in National Geographic Live, photojournalists, journalists, explorers, and when they're here, the foundation is going to pay for a free show for students all over DuPage County to be able to come and see.
And the foundation board, the volunteers who are on the board of directors of the foundation, jumped on this opportunity immediately because we recognized that there could be a spark for a student to explore something they never thought of exploring before because they're in the presence of someone who has gone to do something no one else had ever done. And the patience, the perseverance of those National Geographic scientists, photojournalists, explorers, is so profound. What an opportunity, and we're the only place in Chicagoland where that can happen. National Geographic is with us.
It's pretty exciting.
It's really exciting.
So all of these great programs need support.
They do.
And that's what you do. You help to get support. Mm-hmm. How can people give?
There are so many ways to give. When you're buying your tickets at the box office, you can certainly make a donation right at the box office. You can call the box office at 630-942-4000. On the MAC website at themac.org, if there's a little button at the top that says Support the MAC, there's a link there to the foundation website to give online.
Okay.
The foundation website is also available, foundation.cod.edu, and if you do a little slash there, you can go do directly to Support the MAC, but you can also, there's a drop-down box, and you can say, I want to give money to the McAninch Art Center.
So you have planned a Giving Tuesday fund drive. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what your thoughts are.
Well, we're kicking it off on Giving Tuesday, November 28th, and so it's going to continue through year end. But really, what we're looking at this year is Arts for All because of the MAC. And so recently, I was talking with a patron in the lobby at the Bellucci Performance Hall, and she said, don't ever change your ticket pricing. It's not like Chicago. It's not like other places. You are so affordable. Well, that affordability is because we have donors who help us bridge the gap. So affordable for people who can afford it. But what if you're a person who can't afford any opportunity to experience the arts live? We had a wonderful donor a year and a half ago who helped us create a fund called Mactastic Treat Seats, Tickets for Kids and Families. And that fund helps those less fortunate, those who would not have access, be able to see a show. That also includes seniors, it includes veterans. We have wonderful partnerships with so many community organizations. And we know that we are touching lives because Treat Seats exists.
Well, just a few weeks ago, over 200 kids from Metropolitan Family Services, Bridge Communities, Moose Heart Orphanage came to see the Chinese acrobats. And it was really spectacular to see the look on their faces, to get to come to the theater, you know, and see a show and just experience something positive and inspiring. And I think it's a great
way out
program.
of their wheelhouse. That's the part that's so exciting, is that those opportunities to really discover arts from around the world wouldn't happen if we didn't have donors who weren't willing to say, I'll invest in that because I want a kid to have a treat.
It's awesome. One last thing I want to talk about is our giving tree that we have over the holidays. So it's a fun way to give back to the community if you're coming to see a show. Do you want to talk about that?
And it's an easy way to give. So People's Resource Center and Metropolitan Family Services are the beneficiaries of these drives. So through the end of November, from Thanksgiving up until Christmas, we are collecting canned goods and paper goods for People's Resource, but also sweaters,
scarves,
and socks,
hats,
scarves, and
things for seniors and kids.
Teens, right? Teenagers especially. So Metropolitan Family Services will help to get those articles into the hands of folks who will get a special treat through the holidays, and just because of the generosity of our patrons and our donors.
Janie, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing all of these opportunities with us and for all the great work you do.
Well, it's a pleasure to do it because we have an amazing audience that really realizes how important the MAC is, and we are so glad to help facilitate their giving.
Thank you.
Thanks.
For more information on ways you can support the College of DuPage, visit foundation.cod.edu. Support COD students and DuPage community members this December by attending one of the many great concerts that will close out the fall semester. On December 3rd, come watch the Dupage Chorale, an impressive group of singers comprised of a variety of voices as they perform choral music from classic and contemporary composers alike. On December 4th, the Dupage Community Band takes the stage. A giant collection of accomplished musicians perform together from all around our community. On December 5th, the Chamber Orchestra will perform pieces from Holst, Vivaldi, and many more. Then, on December 6th, don't miss the always entertaining percussion ensemble as they fill the Bellucci Performance Hall with every type of percussive instrument you can imagine. Finally, come see the COD Concert Choir and Chamber Singers perform on December 7th. Their repertoire spans hundreds of decades, all the way from 1666 to 2016. Don't forget to stop by the Cleve Carney Art Gallery while you're here. The annual art faculty exhibit will showcase the talents of COD art instructors and will be on display starting December 2nd. The Second City is known to many as the leading sketch and improv comedy company in the nation, having played host to comedians such as Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Gilda Radner, Steve Carell, and Tina Fey. Joining the ranks of those legendary artists is my next guest, E.J. Cameron, who is part of the Second City's national touring company. Welcome, E.J.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I was telling you before, I used to work at Second City. I was the president of Second City for 4 years, and some of the best times of my life. So I can't tell you how happy I am to talk to you today.
Oh, that's cool. All right, so you're an insider.
I am an insider.
Cool.
And what I want everybody to know is how you create a show, because a lot of people don't understand how it's done. So talk to me a little bit about and share with them how this holiday show is going to get put together.
All right, right now what we're doing, we're pitching some of our ideas. So what happens, it starts with an idea.
Right.
So everybody comes in, we'll have a pitch day. So if we're doing a holiday show like what we're pitching now, anything that you think is funny or different about the holidays, we'll pitch it. Like I just pitched one about a guy who still doesn't know about Santa, or he still believes in Santa, and he has kids, and his wife is like, babe, it's, and she's trying to break it to him.
Uh-huh.
So we're like playing around with that. Ideas from songs, we'll flip a song, like a classic song, and like find like the weird joke in it. And then we all like bring our material in, and then once we all bring something in, we kind of find a through line. So after a while, we'll find a through line, and maybe that'll create the title of the show or like a theme. So then we write more towards that theme. Like maybe the theme this year is your family makes you miserable on the holidays. Everybody can relate to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go through that, and then after a while, we like test it out and see what works, and then we keep
Where do you test?
on the main stage.
See, I think this is so interesting. What people don't know is one of the secrets to the success of Second City is you are co-creating with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
You try your material out, you see if they like it, if they respond. If they like it, you guys take it back and wordsmith it and tighten it up. And
shine it up a bit more. What works, you push that a little bit more. What didn't work or felt dead, or if it's too long.
Right.
Sometimes you write this scene and you read it and you're like, oh, this is beautiful. And you put it up and you're like, that felt like 20 minutes.
Right? Isn't it funny?
Yeah, me
you
like
some
pat
things
myself
read
on the
beautifully, and then you put it up on its feet and you're like, that is so not funny.
So long. It's smart.
Right.
And we forget that we're all like, man, this is so smart. But sometimes it's keep it simple, stupid, you know?
Right.
Just,
So you work as an ensemble with your fellow actors in the show.
Yes.
And you are the writers as well as the performers, which I don't think a lot of people realize. I think a lot of times the marketing for these shows say, we take archives out of the Second City and pull the best. And there's some.
Yeah.
There's some great archival scenes that are done by Tina Fey or Steve Carell or whoever. But the majority of it is written by this new generation.
a lot of times, too, it's just, we'll just do improv sometimes. We always warm up with an improv and we'll perform and do a scene and something will just crack us up and we're like, oh man.
That was it.
Yeah, that's it. Or you'll just have that like, there's something there and you sit there with it and like, I'm a person that every time I go take a shower and I think about a sketch, I'm like, what, that's it, and like run out and have to like write it down. I have this little notebook that I keep by my bedstand that I like wake up at 3 in the morning and like,
well, they say your best creativity happens when you're in a semi-engaged state, like the shower, driving, running, and then the dots connect. So you probably have a minute to just breathe, think, and the dots connect, and you.
And then you're like, oh, that's it.
That's
like,
it.
When you sit down, you're like, I need to write this scene. You're like,
Blank, nothing, crickets.
yeah.
And that's why improv's nice, because you are building something together.
Yeah, and it feels natural. Sometimes I prefer like just a premise and we'll improvise around that and we'll just kind of like make bullet points.
I like that too.
So we keep the fun and like we can always discover, but you know, writing is great too. I just dread sitting down and like punching out on the keys. But I'm a beat sheet guy. Keep it quick and simple. If we don't know what the game is.
Explain what a beat sheet is to them.
Oh, a beat sheet is so there's typically you have
like
a
the
script.
bullet points.
Yeah, the bullet points. So let's say in the script I'm like, okay, at the top you're going to enter, you're going to greet and be happy. The second beat, a monster comes in, but you don't see the monster. The third beat, you find out the monster's your mom. And then you know how to get to A, B, C, but you don't need to go A through Z. You just kind of get the general like, this is the idea, let's play with that. And sometimes new things happen. The world's always changing. There's always something new in the news that you can pepper in and throw in.
That's one thing I love about Second City artists, and I admire their commitment to being relevant, their commitment to being current with the news and events, and the audience just eats it up.
Oh yeah, because it's like, oh, I read this in the news today, and you don't even think you're gonna see it. And then like you go that night, and we've already seen it. We've already like figured out jokes or talked about it backstage, and like made all of our jokes and we're like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if in this scene you said something, Ted Cruz likes nachos, and you're like, oh man, that'd be great. And then the audience, it's a bigger reaction because it's so fresh and so new. They're like, that's the thing that we were looking at today.
Exactly.
And then their heads explode.
How far are you in creating the show that we're going to see here at the MAC?
We're about 2 weeks into the process.
So pretty early.
Yes, very early. We're still pitching and getting things and workshopping right now. Actually, after this, I'm going to go workshop some more. So we're just bringing in our material and figuring it out and whittling down and trimming off the fat of the ideas. Or sometimes some things are just, you're like, oh, I thought this was funny. It's not funny.
And you let it go.
You let it go.
Tell us about, how did you start with Second City?
I started, oh wow. I did the conservatory program. So I had to audition to get in, and that was after like doing a year at IO. I'd like on and off, I took breaks. Then I went to Second City, did conservatory, which is like their like graduate level, like their college of comedy. And then after like the first 2 classes, you re-audition, then you go through 3, 4, 5, then you have like your final show and like your showcase. And then after that, right after I got into Bob Curry, and then while I was doing the Bob Curry Fellowship, I auditioned to get on a cruise ship and do the cruise lines with Norwegian. And I got onto that, and then I came back all fat from the ship. I was like hanging out.
They have good food on those ships.
The best and the worst food. It's all you can eat.
That's true, because you get tired of it.
You get tired of it, and I'm terrible at buffets.
Why?
I should never be at a buffet, because it's all I can eat.
Because you can't stop.
Yeah, I'm just gonna push. I'm like, I'm full, but did you see the quiche over there? Did you see the cookies? And then you just keep eating, and you're like, I can
And there's nowhere to go,
yeah,
so you eat.
You just keep eating. Oh man, you get it. So I did that. I did the cruise ship, and then I came back and understudied for like about a month, and then I got moved into the touring company. And
good for you.
Yeah.
You know what I love is that a lot of people think it's being an overnight success. They're like, oh, you were discovered. And I don't think people appreciate how much time it takes to hone your craft as an improviser, because it's not just your sense of humor, it's learning how to integrate with 5 other people's sense of humor at the drop of a hat.
At any moment. And that's the problem. Like, a lot of times people will only want to perform with their friends or people that think like them. And it's like, if you're closing yourself off to like so many different jokes and avenues and opportunities. And it is a grind. It's not an overnight thing. When I moved to Chicago about 5-6 years ago, don't do this. I showed up with like 2 duffel bags and $200, and I was like,
oh honey,
I'm ready.
Oh honey.
Right? So it was
5 years later.
5 years later, I'm here, but I did the whole starving artist thing.
Sure you did, honey.
Bopped around to sublets and crashed on couches.
It's hard work.
5 jobs, doing birthday parties for kids and sneaking pizza and cupcakes away in the corner so you can have a meal. You know, it's you do it. And that helps you with your comedy. That's where it comes from.
But you know, Second City is a great home to building community, character, and amazing comedians. So you are in the right place. I think there's no better place, and you are at the precipice of your career. So I wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
And I can't wait to see you here.
I can't wait to perform here. Awesome. We'll throw in something for you. Or maybe we'll bring you up on stage.
I would love it.
All right.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. Thank you so much for coming. The Second City Nutcracking Holiday Revue will be at the MAC on December 9th for 2 fantastic shows. Come by at 6 or 9 for an evening of laugh-out-loud antics with a holiday twist. For more information, visit atthemac.org or call the box office at 630-942-4000. Come party with the coolest cat in town and kick off December right with the kids. Pete the Cat returns to the MAC on December 1st for 3 shows, 9:45, 11:30 a.m., and 7 p.m. On Saturday, December 2nd, have yourself a very Elton Christmas. Come see Craig Meyer and witness his uncanny ability to sound just like Sir Elton John in a spectacular high-energy musical journey featuring a mix of chart-topping hits and holiday classics. Join us for one of 4 magical performances of the Nutcracker. Hear the New Philharmonic Orchestra as they accompany Von Heidecke Chicago Festival Ballet in one of the season's most honored traditions. Be sure to come early and stop by to see a very special visitor. Santa will be in the MAC lobby before each performance. On December 14th and 19th, see the next screening from National Theatre Live. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead stars Daniel Radcliffe in a tragic comedy which puts two minor Shakespearean characters in the limelight as they contemplate the plot of Hamlet as it actually unfolds without them. Our last guest is a professor at the College of DuPage who teaches animation in the motion picture television department. MPTV has had so much to offer our students, including the opportunity to be involved with Courier TV, a student-run news program that has received a lot of recognition lately. Here to tell us all about it is Tony Venezia. Welcome, Tony.
Well, it's good to be here.
Good to have you. So, Tony, you teach animation, correct?
Yes, I do.
So, tell us, what is a student at the end of the year? Do they have an animated cartoon or something to
Well,
show
it's a 2-year program, and the last semester, students are working on a major project that we devote to the whole semester to. And then we have a screening called Animation Night. It is open to the public. I don't have the exact date. I just know it's a Tuesday before graduation. We're going to be in the MAC this year.
Awesome.
In the Bellucci, because we're always in the MAC. But it's an event, so we're trying to get as many people to come as possible, because in the past, we've had about 200 people show up, but we're going for broke this time. We've got a giant venue, so we might as well try
We're
to
going to fill it up. So if people would want to go, can the public go to your screening?
Yeah, and it's free.
And it's free, and it's all the students' animations?
Yes.
What kinds of things would they see?
Well, our students do different types of stuff. So the advanced students will choose the style of animation they would like to work in. They'll do 3D computer graphics, like Toy Story type animation, but there's a lot of traditional animation. There's also experimental animation and a number of other different types of techniques. So they're not forced to do any one kind of project. They choose at that stage of the game what they feel passionate about and how they can best express themselves with their ideas. So that would be the main part of the program. And then we also celebrate projects that were made in some of the intro and intermediate classes. So it's really a night of animation.
Tony, I would think in the digital age, because everything you see now is digital, right? And with all the computer games and graphics and this, I would think that this is a very good career for a student to go into if they're so inclined.
There's a lot of jobs, and the interesting thing is that there's a lot of work that doesn't fit what you would consider traditional animation. So there are feature film jobs, there's television work. There's also things in legal, animation is used in recreating a scene.
Sure.
In law, it's also a big thing in medicine. Promotional things. There's a lot of companies in Chicago that do trade shows, and I always scoffed at those. Who wants to work on a trade show? Until I started seeing some of the budgets, and they want to represent a company and make them look as good as they can. So trade shows have huge budgets, and they can be innovative. So those jobs can be fun. There's a lot of work in museums. Companies want to advertise or make a presentation to get across information to their employees and things like that. So there's, when I was proposing the animation degree 12 years ago, I came up with 50 commercial uses of animation, and not to mention art, which is another big use of it. But since then, I could extend that list to even more. So the thing is,
I would imagine there's tons of work.
There is, and the one thing to consider though, it's not you have to look for it. So we've had students go through our program and get work, or they go through our program, get their 4-year degree and get jobs in animation. But it's the trick will be figuring out where you fit in this scheme. It's kind of like every other career.
Sure. Now let's talk about the news show that the department does.
All right.
Tell us, it's just recently won a lot of awards.
Yeah, the news show was, well, from as long as I've been here, Jennifer Peel has had this dream to set up a news show, a weekly show for the school. And 13 years ago, we didn't have the equipment to do it. And so she was fighting for it. She revised the TV program. And then when all that was happening, we were able to get a nice grant to just replace all the old equipment, the old obsolete equipment with, we're fairly we're more than fairly state of the art. We just got another batch of really good stuff in the studio. So we have really high-end equipment, which allows the TV show to be produced in a way that people are going to actually watch it. So it was really, like I said earlier, her dream was to get this news show to start, and it's actually happened a couple years ago. Jennifer is a dynamo. She's really, really good. She's driven, she's passionate. The students think she's great. So she's able to motivate people to do stuff when they normally may not. And what happened a couple of years ago, I think we entered a whole bunch of news shows into the Illinois Broadcast Association's college competition. And we came back with several awards, and we were competing with all the top schools, four-year colleges and universities like Southern, Western, and other schools that have been established in TV. So here's this little COD with a brand new TV show, first season, and we were winning awards over some of those schools.
Well, the show is great, and I have to tell you, I love it because it can be emailed to you. You can go on Facebook and find it. And what I love about the Courier News Show is there's so much going on this campus with 30,000 people that are all doing very interesting projects. You watch that show, and within a couple minutes, you kind of know what's going on around the campus, from sports to entertainment. And I love that they even cover board meetings, they cover hot topics. I think it's fantastic. And I think I've grown accustomed to liking, to watch it. So I hope we all support it and keep it going. It's a great program.
Oh, I think the college would really be missing a lot without that. So I know that there's plans to keep it going.
Yeah.
So that's our mission right now.
Oh, good. What were you a COD student, I hear?
Yes.
So what did you study when you were here?
Well, I don't know. When I was a student, when they talk about things that students don't know, I was one of them.
Okay.
So I don't know what programs we had. I got an Associate of Arts degree while I was here. And it was back, I graduated in the 5th graduating class, so it's
No way.
I'm pretty, I can talk about the school. When the first year that they had the Quonset huts across the street is when I started.
Wow.
So where we're sitting now is a marsh.
So oh my gosh, so you've seen this college evolve.
Yeah.
You really have.
Yeah,
and been a part of its evolution. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's been a great influence too. When I look back, and I would have said this if I wasn't working here, because I did think this. I really feel like if I didn't go here, I wouldn't have made it through college. My first year was rough, but then a teacher took me under her wing, and she really taught me to how to learn. I never thought I would be a good student, but she really turned me around, and she was really good, so it was pretty quick. It didn't take a year. It took like a semester. Well, it took a summer quarter, and I had a whole different attitude about education. And
now you're teaching.
Yeah, yes.
And passing it on, right?
Yes.
Good for you.
Well, at least that's my goal. So I hope I'm doing that.
I think you are. Well, thank you so much for coming on to talk to us. And we will all go to see the animation show. I'm very excited to see.
Okay, and I'll make sure you know ahead of time too the exact dates. And
all right. Thank you so much, Tony.
You're welcome.
For more information on the Motion Picture Television program, visit their website at cod.edu/programs/MPTV or call 630-942-2892. This is all the time we have for today, but be sure to tune in next month for our all-new episode where you will get even more behind-the-scenes insight about upcoming shows at the MAC. I'm Diana Martinez. Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you at the theater and next time on Backstage Buzz.